Sexual harassment has been making headlines a lot lately, nationally and locally. Here in Colorado, Mayor Michael Hancock has been accused of sexual harassment by a former member of his security team. Well, since this is such a prominent topic right now, we want to ask our legal expert, Phil Harding from Harding & Associates, about laws regarding sexual harassment. This is a big issue to tackle.
Huge, yeah, it's happening more and more. Or we were just talking about before we went on the air, is it happening more and more, or are people becoming more comfortable about reporting it? And it should. And I thought it'd be a good idea for our viewers to understand about the laws regarding sexual harassment in the workplace. Let's start off with what sexual harassment is. It's unwanted touching. Anything from, someone coming up behind you and going, oh, you look tense, and giving you a back massage or whatever. Or
rubbing your shoulders.
Yeah. It's like sexual comments or jokes, display of sexual images, denying promotions or work in exchange for sexual favors. Look, sexual harassment is protected under both the state and federal laws, and you can proceed with either based upon the following, and let's talk about these. So under Colorado, it's known as the CADA, which is the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, and there's the site, which is CRS, stands for Colorado Revised Statutes. You have to file within 6 months of the act occurring.
Oh, wow.
Any size employer, right? So if it's just you and someone else in the workplace, that's where you would file. But one exception is there are no religious institutions allowed under the CADA. Now, let's talk about the federal, if we can go back to that graphic again. So under the federal law, it's also known as Title VII, but you have now 300 days to file. But that's just here in Colorado. If it's federal, some other state, it may be less, but here it's 300 days. There must be at least 15 or more employees there. So, I mean, that's kind of what to know on if you want to file a complaint. That's where you go.
So
either one of those.
And I was kind of surprised to see that the statute of limitations, it doesn't seem like a long amount of time, 6 months or 300 days. But what is the process? If you want to file a claim, what do you need to do? Right.
And you don't start off immediately running and filing a complaint. Whether it's under the state or the federal laws, they require the harassed person to go in and report that to HR or whoever may investigate, or your supervisor at your employment. But what you need to know is if you're a super small company and it's just you and someone else, obviously you can't report it to the harasser.
Right.
So the state and the federal have kind of an exception that if it's a really small company and you can't report it, that notice requirement is met. Now, if the company takes no action, or if you feel that the action didn't solve the problem, then you go and file a complaint with either one of those agencies.
Okay, so there are certain steps to follow. Now, do you after you've filed and maybe you want to bring a lawsuit or something, can you go directly to a lawsuit, or is there mediation? What are those steps like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what happens is you go to either agency, you file a complaint. You can either do that online, in mail, by mail or in person. And once that complaint is received by either one of them, they're going to have an investigator contact you and look into it. If the agency feels that the laws regarding harassment have been violated, then that agency is going to send a copy of your complaint to the company and wants them to respond. After that, generally the agency is going to get people together and try to do mediation.
Okay, and bring us up to date a little bit about, I guess, does mediation have a lot of teeth? Tell us a little bit more about mediation.
Yeah, and it sounds a little stressful to the degree. Mediation is where a third party, a neutral third party, usually with either one of the agencies, gets both sides together and then tries to get them to settle. But if you can't settle, and if either one of the agencies, it doesn't happen, they will close out the file if there's not a settlement and then give you a right to sue letter, and that will give you 90 days that you have to go and file a lawsuit.
Okay.
So it's very quick.
Yeah, it seems like, clearly it would be a highly stressful situation for the person who wants to bring a claim against someone. I can't imagine going it alone. I would think, everyone would want an attorney.
Yeah, it's really helpful to get an attorney, or at least talk to an attorney. Look, everyone gives, or they should give you free consultations to let you know about their expertise and see if they can help you in that area. But super short time frame, so watch out for that. And then also after the EEOC or the CCRD comes back, and if there's not a mediation and it can't be settled, man, you got 90 days that you have to file a lawsuit.
All
So
right.
watch out.
Very timely, very relevant. Thank you so much.
You're
Joel.
welcome.
Appreciate it. If you have any questions for our legal expert, go to kwgn.com. Click on Colorado's Best. You're going to see Phil's photo right there. You can click on it, and then you can send him your questions directly. He takes the time to answer them personally and confidentially. And to reach Harding & Associates directly, you can give him a phone call, 303-762-9500. You can also get a free consultation anytime. Check out his website. It is hlaw.org.